Kyria wants to talk to you on the train.
Thank you, Kale. But first, here. I prepared a kind of herbal tea that helps calm the spirit. Why don't you...
Oh, that's very...
Oh, it's not good to be so tense, especially when we've got a... You seem very preoccupied with Kyria's revenge.
Oh, Hey, Emily, Kale. Oh, are we in a... No, not at all. This will be easier to talk through with you here. I've just been thinking. If Kyria has the capacity to there was just a single door separating them. When I accompanied Sylvain to his room after Lucien died, maybe Kyria did that on purpose. Maybe he wanted Sylvain to...
So did he attack Edgar as a warning then?
Based on what we've heard about Kyria...
Losing his sister all those years ago, whenever I get to thinking like that, I just can't... I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't...
There's nothing wrong with the way you're... In all my years of cleaning up crime scenes, I've witnessed some of them even try to stop me, begging me not to surround yourself with fragrance for too long and your sense of smell will become dull. So while you hold on to that sense of do Sylvain and Lucien really answering those questions requires a lot of time and evidence, while a single act of vengeance... I've witnessed a lot of deaths in Fontaine. When someone dies, a certain amount of info... But generally speaking, death will just leave most...
Once you're consumed by hatred, it will...
You're right. The fact that we can approach these questions, but that also makes us perfectly positioned to stand on the outside. I understand Kyria's decision, but I still want to stop him.
The fortune...
Emily, Traveler. Huh? Edgar.
Oh, it's you two! Didn't you head back to your room to rest, Edgar? Is it really okay?
A little. Besides, I don't have much time left in Sumeru.
We could do that for you, Master.
No need. I've grown attached. I would imagine Sheriff...
the Night Watch!
That's right. I've stationed some of my men around the surrounding area, but... Exactly. After some discussion, we concluded that Sylvain and Emily's expertise is sure to come in handy in a pinch. That's why I want you two stationed next...
Sounds perfectly reasonable.
My men and I will be stationed nearby...
I'll head into the mountains to keep an eye on
Shouldn't you be standing...
Not a peep. Has Kyria given up on his revenge? Still nothing unusual. Paimon took a peek into the room next door and Sylvain's already sleeping.
Perhaps Kyria's true motive was simply... No, that can't be right. If all he wanted was... There must be something we're missing.
Maybe we just need to calm down a little. How about some tea? That herbal blend from earlier... You're right. Maybe we can look for a different distraction then, like... oh, there's a glaze lily here. Paimon didn't notice it earlier.
Flowers, glaze... Oh no! Sylvain's room! Quick!
Wait, what?
Hey, did you hear?
It was the older of the merchant brothers.
Yeah, I think his name was Sylvain.
First it was Mr. Edgar, then that merchant named Lucien, and...
Listen up, everyone. This is an act of crime.
It's been 3 days and they haven't even caught...
Do you think it could be the work of an evil... I mean, how do you get away with something...
Keep it moving, everyone. No loiter.
I suppose.
You don't know that. Kyria already attacked you once, and
You were the only reason I managed to...
even if I wasn't there.
Is that so? I have exceptional students. Caring, but Kyria has nothing. It really makes...
If you really want an answer, I suppose you'll have to ask Kyria himself.
Well, Emily, there's something else. But so many flowers were transported here for the show. Some of them, whether Kyria gets to me first. I know it's a lot.
Of course.
Really? Oh, now I...
Sheriff Sham still has some...
Go ahead. Best not to keep him waiting.
I'm sorry, Master.
Another all-nighter. Paimon sure hopes Emily's plan will go well. Oh, but Kali still looks quite worried. Let's go talk to her.
Emily still isn't back. I hope she didn't run it. Yeah, that's true.
Traveler, I had my men start spreading the information you requested. The crowd is... After listening to Emily's plan, I started getting them... To be honest, I'm still not sure...
The key clue was right in front of us the entire time. Let's go. We'll show you where the Wasn't this incense originally in Lucien's room? It must have...
I only have a basic idea of what...
So...
This is it!
The glazed lily, huh? I think I've heard of it before. It's a...
Well, did you know it only blooms at night?
Emily, you're back!
Exactly as it...
A flower that only blooms at...
Exactly. Although the Neopala lotus wouldn't be a good substitute, and that's why Kyria chose the
If poured into the flower pot, the liquid would... If applied to the outside, you would still... There's a sticky substance on the edge of the flower petals. If you stick the petals together with slime condensate,
That's right! He applied a diluted form. That way, the agouste would remain trapped inside during the daytime, unable to seep between. However, the diluted slime condensate wouldn't be viscous enough to prevent the petals of the glazed lily from opening at night.
And Kyria could execute his revenge without
By the next morning, the sample of agouste would have nearly fully evaporated.
Wait a second. You're telling me this version of agouste is so tough, and how did Edgar even survive and just...
That's because agouste is just as dangerous now as it was all those years ago. The level of toxicity...
You mean people who are sensitive to elemental energy? That can't be right. They were involved in the
I wouldn't use the word allergic necessarily. It's more like they're susceptible. You can think of it this way. It's not that Sylvain and Lucien are innately sensitive.
in Fontaine, I experienced how drinking primordial seawater made me more attuned. All kinds of essential oils commonly found in alchemical products can temporarily increase element. The incense I smelled earlier seemed familiar. In Sumeru, scholars use spirit-born
alchemically produced essential oils, the primordial seawater that caused unrest in Fontaine, not...
That stuff gave us a lot of trouble when we first came to...
Ah, yes. I definitely...
In Sumeru, it's not uncommon to use incense indoors, so it's present...
Flowers were pretty important to this plan, huh? The glazed lily is native to Liwa. It would be...
Actually, it's not a coincidence at all.
No wonder he was willing to pay a small...
He probably used the mora Yelena left him, don't you think? that, but in the end...
There's a saying among forensic doctors in Fontaine. Every step you take, but up until this point, we haven't been able to detect any trace of Kyria's activities. But because he's been disguised as someone...
Creating such an intricate mechanism out of a glaze lily, it all points to one The more I spent to rent out the hotel, the way it all points to... Kyria and Edgar are one and the same.
But Kyria was only in his teens back. Edgar's lived here for so many years.
Bad news, Sheriff! Mr. Edgar was attacked!
What?
A dark shadow-like figure just ran out of his... But before we could even react, the figure up and disappeared like some sort of ghost or something. Do you think Kyria kidnapped him?
I need you to think very carefully about this.
I mean, Mr. Edgar was so frail.
It would seem Master decided to tap into an ill-advised source of power.
What? But that's so dangerous with the condition.
But why?
No. If his aim was to target everyone who had...
If he left Sylvain alive yesterday, not out of a desire to seem...
Then there's...
The shadow-like figure ran in the direction of the elevator, and my partner immediately chased after them.
We should hurry before they're forced to confront each other.
Where in the world did he go? Let's ask the merchants nearby.
Ghost!
It's all right. Please, calm down and take a deep breath.
I saw a black... How could...
This is terrifying.
No! Don't come any closer!
If we go any further...
It's all right. I can detect a faint... It's this way. Please, follow me. The scent is getting stronger. This must be the place.
How long will this require exactly?
Oh! Oz! Are you all right? Were you...
No.
Let me take a look.
The air definitely feels heavy. It smells nice, but for some reason...
This feeling...
Everything looks all right. It was probably just the stress of the chase.
I can't rest. Mr. Edgar is still in... He's a good man.
Oz, you need to calm down and listen to me. Edgar...
But how is that possible? Mr. Edgar is 70-something.
That's precisely why he had to resort to extraordinary measures. Kyria used a delusion to bring back the Auguste flower.
No. He couldn't have. Mr.
And what if the impersonation started before? I've yet to confirm it, but I suspect Kyria killed the real Edgar while Edgar was incarcerated. Kyria started making preparations to replace him, including forcefully aging his body, studying perfume. The new Edgar then decided to relocate to Sumeru, seemingly out of an innocuous desire to let go of the past. And Sumeru fit the bill to a T. with no one around to question his identity. All he had to do was grow a beard, don a pair of glasses, as the years went by. He removed his disguise little by little and continued to...
That explains why Sylvain said he aged himself decades beyond his years just so he...
I need to find Mr. Edgar. He's not that kind.
What you really need is to get...
No,
Wait! This environment is likely being influenced by the delusion. Any discomfort. I know how to relieve your symptoms, Mr. I'm sure Kiria... No,
Kale's right. The Traveler and I will take things from here. This leads me to believe those blessed with a vision or capable of wielding elemental power are more resistant to... Actually, now that I think about it, I hate to trouble you.
Thank you. Hear that? We're heading out.
Traveler, Emily, for someone whose only purpose in life is revenge.
Don't worry. This isn't the end. We're not going to let a goose kill anyone else. Monsters. Perhaps they were attracted here by the increased level of elemental energy.
Stand back!
And Shroud!
Bombs away!
I've never seen these seeds before. They must also have been created with the power of a delusion. It seems to be avoiding us, and there's no other way forward. Perhaps we could try luring it to the edge of the cliff.
Whoa, look at all the Auguste flowers! There are so many of them. Paimon can't believe a single person.
I fear that statement is truer than you know, Paimon. Using a delusion...
Why would he only needed a few
Perhaps hatred wasn't the only... Not long ago, he told me he didn't want all the flowers transported to Sumeru, but Kiria betrayed Snezhnaya, abandoned Fontaine, and lived his entire... for someone with nowhere to call home. Perhaps dying...
Neutralize! Let's light it up!
This'll brighten up the place!
I hear everything!
I'm going in!
One with the forest!
A plant that destroys seeds. Huh. Quite the ecological marvel. Let's head back to the place where the seeds first appeared. The scent of flowers is getting stronger. We're almost at the end. The scent of flowers is getting stronger.
Did they catch up that fast? No. My strength is just waning. But it doesn't matter. This is...
This is a garden of Auguste flowers. But it's not mine. It's the one that was set on fire all those years. Yelena? Yelena! You tried to hide it from me, but the reason why you continued to use the delusion, the reason why you set your garden on... I shouldn't have listened to you that day. I shouldn't have taken the Mora and ran. But by the time I realized something wasn't right, there was nothing left. I know I'm almost 20 years too late. I should have died with you that day. Yelena? Yelena! No! Don't leave me! Yelena!
Emily? I'm alive. No.
That was an illusion, likely brought about by the residual toxin.
No. The amount of Auguste I drank, it should have a fake.
We started making the preparations last night with one goal in mind, to create a perfect accord. The accord is the basis of perfume making,
the product in its most primitive form. Ambergris mixed with cedarwood, rounded out with a base note of agarwood.
This is the scent of leather?
Exactly. We're unable to extract essential oils from leather, but by combining other raw materials, we can recreate its essence. That is the purpose of an accord.
Does that mean you can recreate any scent in the whole world?
I'm afraid not. Certain fragrances in this world are simply one of a kind. That quality is what draws people in and fuels their obsessions.
If I wear a goose to the ball, I'll also be one of a kind.
Our competitor already got their hands on it.
It doesn't matter how much it costs. I have to buy something better.
This fragrance will be one of a kind, no more. Myths can be deconstructed, miracles can be recreated. All it takes is skill, experience, limitless exploration, and a little patience. The only thing left is determining where the real Auguste is hidden. Pretending to be attacked means he's not free to move around. Auguste must be hidden within reach.
Paimon took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers.
The curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharawar, capable of retaining heat and moisture.
Perfumes are as beautiful as flowers, and equally as delicate. When stored, you must take care to control the temperature and keep them away from direct sunlight. Did you get all that, Emily?
I got it.
Did you hear? Someone was attacked again last night.
Sylvain is dead. Is that right?
Yes, Master.
So, you switched the bottles of August?
Convincing you that your revenge had been complete.
Impossible. Even if August was...
It was a combination of rainbow roses, glaze lilies, but recently,
Rainbow roses?
Auguste was created over 10 years ago. All this time, people never stopped analyzing. Perfumery techniques are advancing day by day. We've found better ways. The mythos surrounding Auguste may have been untouchable on
The past.
You've been working as a perfumer for all these years. You should have always known that but the meaning you assigned to Auguste became so inflated. You allowed yourself to. You believed in its divinity and grandeur. You believed it was entirely one of a kind. Your obsession with Auguste is also what...
We just didn't expect it to happen so fast.
Well, so... Since you've been preparing your accord since last night, that means the news of Sylvain's death. The crowd gathered.
Yes. If we hadn't, you might have resorted to the delusion out of desperation, or continue...
Who knows? Maybe
I know if you had things your way, you would carry the truth. Sylvain only all the crimes he concealed back then will be
Is that so?
Whoa, he accepted that kind of fast.
I don't feel the need to justify. I did what I set out to do. But there's no...
Careful, everyone.
Stick close and hurry up.
Looks like I'm...
Of course, Master.
The combination. You...
The scent of Auguste is complex and varied, so as I was analyzing the sample yesterday, I got to thinking, what if the...
You're saying Yelena designed August?
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, Cecilias. The perfumers of the past knew that if you combine their scent, but if you cultivate a new flower species that intrinsically carries the unique...
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilia. Yelena.
Did you know? Miss Emily's... right, I heard...
Seems like everyone in Fontaine is talking about the new perfume you're...
I was hoping to release it without such... I just hope it won't become the source of some new myth. Especially... I did, although I made a few modifications to the formula to make this... Also, I was hoping you could try out the...
Of course! A good sense of taste and... Oh, it smells...
It's alright. Besides, when it comes to perfume, commenting on whether it smells good is the most straightforward assessment you...
Right! Do those flowers have some...
If I had to guess...
The language of flowers? Oh, we've heard of that before!
What each flower is said to represent varies by person. After returning to Fontaine, I did some research, and it turns out the Forget the perhaps? That's the legacy Yelena always intended, not the nobility.
You think Kiria knew about that?
I paid him a visit before his trial and explained, who knows, maybe she didn't mean anything by... Yelena is gone. We'll never know what she was thinking. We can look for meaning all we want, but it'll never be, even if that is what she was avenging her death. That was the meaning. Kiria cultivated his revenge like a flower. He was committed to making it bloom. In any case, he'd thank you for saving my life, for giving me the chance to learn that love and hatred are a privilege. When someone dies, they're thoughts, but even if it's only a conjecture, the meaning we give to flowers, the symbol, and yet at the very outset,